Nice meeting you. Today will our core argument be tourism is not the result of soft power, it is one of the most powerful drivers. In the next minutes, I will show how Visit Sweden approaches tourism as a strategic input to nation brand strength, and how destination marketing translates perception into real visits and visits into lasting influence. So I'm Tina, and of course then this is...
I'm Nils Persson. I don't know if the mic... Yeah, Nils Persson. I'm Chief Marketing Officer at Visit Sweden, and Tina's Chief Strategy Officer at Visit Sweden.
So we want try to share how we at Visit Sweden try to work with tourism and travel as a strategic contributor to place brand strength and long-term attractiveness. So let's see this one. And how many have been to Sweden? Great. It's a small country. We are about 500,000 more people than London. And if you are in the south of Sweden and you want to go to the north of Sweden, it's as long distance as if you are in south of Sweden, you're going down to Rome. So we are a very long country. We have quite a strong global performance and positive reputation. Many have heard about Sweden. But we also know that reputation alone is not enough. Since 2020, Visit Sweden, our company, has been fully state-owned with one clear mandate: to make the whole of Sweden as a destination visible internationally and create measurable effect. And Sweden, we don't have a tourism strategy. Every other bad night is empty, so it's not overcrowded in Sweden. So we are 48 people working together, cross-functionally and insight-driven, and we are working globally, and we are 48 people, and our funding are 10.5 million euros yearly. So our objective is not visibility for its own sake, but to increase Sweden's attractiveness and competitiveness as a destination. This is how much tourism contributes to the GDP. As you can see, we are not like France, Italy, or US, or whatever. But we create a significant export value and employment. It's really important for Sweden as well. But hard numbers only explain scale. The more important question is, what role does tourism play beyond GDP in shaping how a country is perceived and valued over time? So for Sweden, this is a paradox. We're not in the middle, we're not in the center, we're a small country. So we rank very high in global indexes, yet the awareness of Sweden as a country and as a destination remains relatively low in many markets, almost every market. The gap between reputation and awareness limits long-term impact. So, what about the brand?
Yes, so we have been working with the brand for quite some time in Sweden. We're working with the Sweden brand. I think it was introduced in 2007 the first time. We also have a Swedish font, the Swedish Suns, that we have done together. And we also have a sort of design manual, etc., as many countries now do. But I think we were one of the first countries actually that did a lot of work on the branding of a destination or a nation, I would say. And then last year we launched a new sort of brand update on that. It was led by the Swedish Institute with Visit Sweden and Business Sweden as co-drivers. But what I would say is the biggest thing about it was that we actually, in the sort of update of the strategy, brand strategy, we involved a lot of people from academia to the enterprises and to sort of official Sweden, from sort of municipality to region level, a lot of different organizations covering spaces like talent, culture, entrepreneurship, sports, knowledge and innovation, talent and investment, and of course tourism. So I think that was the big thing that we did, that this is a collaboration that makes it much more stronger and something that we can build on. But as everyone knows, a strategy in itself, even though I'm a marketing and branding guy, strategy in itself doesn't do the trick. You also have to execute on it, otherwise nothing happens. So that is something that I will talk a bit more later on, how we, Visit Sweden, work with sort of the execution of the strategy, or how we work with it in terms of promoting Sweden as a destination internationally.
So what we are trying to figure out and also talk about in Sweden is what is the role of tourism and what is the role of marketing. Because when you don't, if you don't know about this, it's really hard to explain, and also why you need to invest. We talked about that earlier. This is where Global Soft Power Index comes in our lives. It was really important to find this evidence and also to be quite secure how this will continue and help us to tell a story about the impact of tourism. So let's see here.
Great Place to Visit has become the second most important driver of reputation, and it is obviously the most important driver of attractiveness for tourists. So developing perceptions in this area for Sweden, for the other Nordic nations, for the destinations within the Nordic region is hugely important, and is a way of contributing not just to the ranking in this or that index, although that's a commendable and something to be congratulated for, but it's about the tangible impact and how building soft power really can help improve perceptions across other sectors. And interestingly, being a great place to visit is equally important for reputation as it is for trade attractiveness and as it is for talent attractiveness. So by building a positive image of the country as a tourist destination, you're directly contributing to improving economic growth across other sectors and making the work of your colleagues in investment or trade or talent attraction way easier.
This 1 minute and 13 seconds clip has been really important for us in Sweden to tell a story that is not us two talking about the importance of tourism. It's actually from Global Soft Power Index, and thank you so much, Conrad, for this. So this is what we are saying, that tourism is the first handshake with the world, and it's starting to get there, but it's not really it's not getting through to the politicians yet, but they need to understand that we are going to be a force in trying to explain everything here. So let's see, another thing. We wanted to have a report from Brand Finance. We had it in March, and for us it's always to have this evidence. So this is quite two very important mechanisms where we explain what tourists really are. First, the perceptual weight. Destination appeal matters structurally for reputation. And second, experiential uplift. First-hand experience amplifies wider perceptions. So together, this makes tourism investment a long-term soft power strategy. In this report, of course, no country is perfect. We had some really good suggestions what to do next, and this is what we are trying to drive in Sweden and also get the politicians to invest in. It's sharpen differentiation within culture and heritage. Not many people know about the culture in Sweden, maybe more about the lifestyle, and also leverage lifestyle leadership more explicitly within tourism position, and also increase the salience of tourism within the broader nation brand. So this is what Nils is going to talk about much more. But this is really a good and very important strategy for us to work with soft power index. So let's see. This is the goal of our company, Visit Sweden. Increase the destination Sweden's attractiveness and competitiveness. This is what we are working. We're 48 people. We're doing and thinking about this every day. And Nils, I think next slide is yours.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so more people, the more people experience Sweden, the stronger our global position becomes. And we don't have, as Laura talked about, we don't have the benefit of being a strong tourist destination in general, like London is. So that's really important for us, that actually the word of mouth, in order to get word of mouth, you have to get people to visit before they can go back home and deliver the word of mouth. So that's really important to us. And so why is marketing important for us when we promote Sweden as a destination and also as a nation? Well, this is from a professor from the Stockholm School of Economics, Erik Moder. He says that marketing is not about being seen, it's about influencing decisions, and decisions are made long before the actual purchase. So this is something that we try to do, working with sort of long-term storytelling, building growth over time, and also building the brand over time. It's not about converting people to book a trip to Sweden right now. It's the long-term part that we're in. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, so that we always increase in this. So how do we drive demand for the destination of Visit Sweden? Well, we do it in a couple of ways, but first of all, I want to let you know that a lot of people raised their hand when Tina asked if you have been to Sweden. But what comes to mind when you think about Sweden as a destination? Anyone? Sorry? Yeah. Yeah. No, but the thing is, we have quite some strong brands, and we have ABBA, we have Volvo, we have IKEA, of course. But when it comes to destination, there is a problem. We don't have any leaning towers, we don't have any pyramids, we don't have any palm trees, we don't even have cheap beers. So we need to do it in another way to get people to understand what Sweden as a destination is. And that's what we try to do when we talk about the destination of Sweden and build that into the storytelling. And we are, if I would like to have the budget, or we would like to have the budget of John Deere, but I think we work of sort of the crumbles of the peanuts of London and Partners doing the marketing that we do. And for us, that's really important because we don't have that attractiveness. We don't have those icons, or they're not as well known as London is as a destination, for example. So what we do is trying to work with storytelling in a way that actually gives a story about tell a story about what Sweden as a destination represents. And there are two ways of doing that, and one of them is, as you know, was a Nobel Prize winner, Daniel Kahneman. He talked about the rational and the emotional part of the brain, and that's what we try to do. We try to work with the emotional part in the storytelling about what Sweden as a destination actually is. It's not the rational part about sort of listing the attractions and the activities that you can do in Sweden, because that's not what sort of people are remembered in the brain. It's the emotional part. There's no rational way of going out and buy a handbag for £1,000. You rationalize it afterwards and say that's a good thing for you that you bought it. You rationalize it to your friends or to your family. The other thing is that, and sort of putting my neck out there a bit, working with destination marketing or place branding, I think a lot of the marketing done by destinations today, they are very rational and, to be honest, quite dull and boring, generic, so they don't build any emotional parts. And there's a study being made, I think it was together with IPA data. IPA is the Institute for Practitioners in Advertising, based here in London. It was with System 1, Peter Fields and so on, that said that the biggest risk with marketing and branding is it's what you do with the money, because a lot of marketing is so dull that it actually nothing happens with people. It doesn't change anything. So that's the biggest risk. 50% of all marketing is actually bad for a brand because it doesn't happen anything, because everyone is now risk minimizing everything that they are doing. So we try to work in a way that we actually get emotional engagement from people, also tell a story in a way so that other people can tell it. Because as I said, and as David also said, it's the budget problem. We don't have the funding to actually go out and buy media broadly, since then nothing will happen. So we need to tell a story that actually other people want to engage in and want to report on and write about. And it's a sort of very busy world out there. It's 5,000 messages. We are exposed to 5,000 commercial messages every day. So we don't just compete with other destinations, we compete with all the brands out there every day. So how are you going to build a story that actually sticks? So one of the things that we did when we sort of redid a lot of the strategy for Visit Sweden 5 years back was the first campaign that we did, and was in 2021. We did a global campaign called Discover the Originals. It was 2021, even though I have forgotten about it, was still pandemic, even though we saw the light in it, but a lot of people were still stuck in lockdown. So we did a campaign that we called Discover the Originals, and the thing that we did was talking about IKEA furniture, the names of IKEA furniture. A lot of people in talk shows over the world, some of the biggest, Jimmy Fallon, etc., in media in UK, Germany, France, etc., all wondered, are they made up names or what do they actually stand for? And the most names that actually the IKEA furniture come from are actually great places or destinations in Sweden. Like Stubbarp, for example, legs for storage combinations, or Kallax, who is a shelf. But in the front of it, we put Bollman. Bollman is a toilet brush, quite cheap one of the cheapest one in the product line of IKEA. But the actual Bollman, which is also located in Småland, not far from where Ingvar once started IKEA, is the beautiful lake. Freshwater fish. Tourists, domestic and international, come there to hike, to swim, to kayak, to fish. There are restaurants with freshwater fish around that. It also serves fresh water to 1 million people in the southern Sweden. So this toilet brush is actually a beautiful lake. So we put it on a store window, but we also want to do things for real. We don't just want to do it as a marketing gimmick. So we wanted to change the slogan for the Lake of Bollman. The trouble was that Lake Bollman is shared by 4 municipalities in 2 regions, but we got them together, sat down with them and say, hey, we have an idea. We want to change the slogan for Bollman. We want to change it to Bollman more than an IKEA toilet brush. What do you think about it? And we're thinking ourselves, great, because we are much more than a IKEA toilet brush. So we did that and actually did a revealing of it and changed the name of it, and that became sort of a global story back then. And that's the way we try to work with the thing we do. We do it with a sort of Swedish dry humor. It was the first time that we did it back in 21, but it worked really well internationally as well, so we have continued to do that. So what we do when we look upon Sweden as a destination, there are 3 areas that I want to have to check in. Is what's the travel trends going on right now, or upcoming travel trends? What's sort of popular cultural trends, like in the case of Discover the Originals with IKEA, was that it was talked about in several talk shows, some of the biggest in the world, in media, etc. Or are there other sort of societal trends that's going on right now? And can Sweden, as a destination, deliver on it in an authentic way? So that's what we try to do when we do our global campaigns, and to build a story that actually other people want to engage in, and also deliver something more than just showing attractions and activities to do in Sweden and show pretty pictures. And even though Tina said we're a small country, yeah, we're a small country in the numbers of people, but we're actually one of the largest countries area-wise in Europe. So if you compare London, yeah, the same number of people, but Sweden from north to south, east to west, 4 different seasons, or as they say up north in Sweden, we have 5 different seasons. This is something that we need to build in the stories that we're building, and we do that with sort of super limited budgets. One of the latest campaigns that we did is the Swedish prescription. And the Swedish prescription is basically a way of us telling why you should come to Sweden and why it's a remedy for something going on in the world today. And as I said, we looked into the trends going on, and we saw that talking a lot, and also did a campaign together with, a few years back, together with BBC and the Global Wellness Institute. We see that one of the biggest areas in the wellness economy is wellness travel. So that's also, it's far beyond the sort of normal increase of the GDP or the growth, the second largest in the global wellness economy. The other thing that we saw was happening, like an unknown trend, is more and more doctors and general practitioners internationally are writing out culture, social activities, and also nature-based experience as a way of treatment rather than giving them a pill. We need to work in a way to with preventive care. We also talked to the medtech and biotech industry in Sweden, life science industry in Sweden, say, what do you think about it? Is this good? Yeah, absolutely, because in the Western world, we can't cater for all the people in hospitals and caring for them, so we need to work more preventive. But we didn't want to stop there, because we want to do it not just as a marketing thing, we also want to see that it's actually rooted in science. So we talked to a professor emeritus in global health on the Karolinska Institutet. For you who doesn't know Karolinska Institutet, it's the organization, the institute in Sweden that nominate or names the Nobel Prize winner in medicine, so it's quite high renowned. So we talked to the professor emeritus around this and said, could you back this up with research that actually activities and lifestyle activities that Sweden deliver on actually can be treated as prescriptions. And she helped us to do that from a sort of a lifestyle perspective, from culture and social, etc., etc. And we also have quite a good reputation in indexes when it comes to work-life balance, etc., and quality of life. But we didn't want to stop there, so we also contacted doctors and general practitioners on some of our key markets like the US, UK, Netherlands, and Germany, also to see if they would act as ambassadors. And no one got paid about it. And they said, yeah, absolutely, this is something that we care for, and we also wanted to raise the awareness of this. So absolutely, and Sweden is the perfect setting for that. So that became the Swedish prescription in the end.
Hello. Did you know that Sweden's the first country in the world that doctors can prescribe? Because Sweden is filled with activities that make you feel good. Like this, for example. Our cool climate creates an ideal environment for deep restorative sleep. A classic sauna activates your parasympathetic nervous system for profound relaxation.
If you prefer wearing clothes, our calming museums are the perfect antidote for overcrowded tourist traps.
Hello. Or maybe you prefer nightlife. Here in Sweden, the sun won't go down for 100 days. Just imagine what 24/7 light therapy could do for you. So get your doctor to prescribe Sweden and see what we can do for your wellness.
Side effects of visiting Sweden may include a sudden appreciation for pine trees and an urge to hug them, blueberry endorphin overdose, sleep so good that you actually feel like a brand new person, wanting to bike everywhere, even uphill, overwhelming exposure to clean air, addiction to clear, tasty tap water. Visitors have reported disorientation upon encountering functioning public transportation, forests, lakes, and breathtaking views causing unsolicited mindfulness, staring at the view for hours, completely forgetting to check your phone, a feeling that you never want to go back home. Chronic symptoms may include an urge to actually respect personal space, encounters of fika, regular breaks involving coffee, pastries, and actual human connection that can be habit-forming. Other reports include sudden urge for meatball dinners and reading books like it's the 1800s. If you find yourself developing a a taste for herring and minimalism. Consult your travel agent immediately. There are also noted cases of episodes involving uncontrollable headbanging to death metal. Beware, a trip to Sweden may result in reverse culture shock upon return to the country of origin.
So this is the way we try to sort of differentiate ourselves, sort of breaking the category language of destination marketing to stand out, also telling a story, but also get others to help us to tell that story. And the covering so far, we launched it in late September last year. I think we're up in 2,300 plus articles in plus 70 countries in the world, some of the world's leading media like CBS, BBC, The Guardian, Le Figaro, and all the major papers like travel outlets like National Geographic, Condé Nast Traveler, etc., etc. But there also happened something else, and that was a lot that we haven't seen before. It started a great momentum on social media, where a lot of private people, like this enthusiastic guy did.
Hey, you will not believe this update. Imagine feeling sick and going to the hospital, and after the doctor's consultation, he prescribes a country as treatment. Sweden has become the first travel destination on prescription.
So this was just one guy, but it was thousands of posts like these, both from people, but also from different type magazines and companies. I know Skyscanner in Turkey did a post around it. I think it was one of the most popular posts that they did for the whole year, last year. I know Elle and Harper's Bazaar in Taiwan and Hong Kong did the pieces on that. World Economic Forum, also one of the biggest hip-hop culture accounts on Instagram. I don't know how they sort of connected the Swedish prescription to hip-hop, but they had millions of followers reporting on this. So this is one way of how we do it. The most recent campaign that we launched in February is Your Swedish Island, and also tell a story about Sweden, about the freedom to roam, about the nature and the good it gets. And we actually renowned the winners of a Swedish island just the day before yesterday. But this is another campaign that we did with the same thing, and I think we're up in maybe around 1,800 plus articles in plus 60 countries on this as well, covering world media as well.
The dreamiest of dreams. Your own Swedish island. This can be yours, or one of these. No, it's not a joke, because Sweden has the most islands in the world. So many, 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 many. Untouched nature that you can touch respectfully. Oh, cute. Unbathed waters where you can bathe. Naked. The ultimate luxury. Get your own Swedish island. Apply today. Pinch yourself. The dream is real.
So we try to tell the story about how Sweden is in another type of way than a lot of other destinations, and also in the storytelling also include a lot of the values that we as Sweden represents, and also as we as a destination represents in many ways. So in this case, we got, here is a compilation of the applications. It was quite high threshold to send in an application for this, but we got over 2,000 applications in more than 100 countries, or in 100 countries. So I don't know how many countries do we have in the Global Soft Power Index? 193. So more than half of the world countries in the Global Soft Power Index. And I think that's impressive how we actually has reached out to so many countries.
Your own Swedish island.
2,242 applications from over 100 countries. We chose 5 winners. But Sweden was never meant for only 5 people. Your stories reminded us of one thing. Sweden is made to be explored. Over 267,000 islands.
Many.
Maybe your island is still waiting for you.
Nous, cette île.
So there was a tremendous response, we think, that also helps us to build a story going on what Sweden as a destination is. So the thing is to go from one clear idea on is only powerful if it's activated consistently. So we have this brand framework on how we work with things, and here's the role of marketing is not to drive the immediate booking, but build the mental availability so that we frame it, and we have a sort of a line or a communication concept that is a destination of different nature, and we play around with that line so it could be luxury of a different nature, where we provide some different luxury than the traditional luxury, the open air, the freedom to roam, the nature, parts of what we do. But also to make Sweden easier to recall and to choose when the decision moment arrives, because you don't think about buying a travel all the time, so we need to be there constantly reminding in the same way, and that's what we try to do with the marketing that we do from Visit Sweden and how we sort of build the brand of Sweden as a destination.
So tourism is a key driver of soft power, not a result. Because it is not the image of Sweden that creates influence. It is the experience of Sweden, and experience happens through visits. The GSPI, Global Soft Power Index, logic is simple. Familiarity builds reputation, and reputation builds influence. Our role as Visit Sweden is to increase the probability of visits at scale, because visits are the strongest accelerator in that chain. So if we take the next slide, this is just more like one of the last slides where we can see how quite big, well-known Swedish companies, the value of them, and if you just compare with the value of Swedish tourism as a brand, you can see that the politicians in Sweden really need to understand the value of tourism. And
the good thing also, what has helped us with the Global Soft Power Index, we have one of the things that Global Soft Power Index has helped us with is to sort of confirm things that we already know, because we have done brand tracking, we've done target group analysis for many, many years on some key markets. But this is something that has been confirmed, the picture that we gotten from those studies that we've done ourselves with what Brand Finance delivers in Global Soft Power Index. But it's also given us more insights on how we can work with areas where we are not so well known, that we will need to work more on to get people to get a bigger awareness of it. It's not that we don't have it, it's just that the world doesn't know that we have them. So we can close the gap of that and also strengthen this destination of Sweden brand, but also the overall nation brand of Sweden, and also then contribute to all the other parts in the economy of Sweden.
great, and then I don't think this is a long commercial for Global Soft Power Index and Brand Finance, I would just say. So for us, it is a very important tool, and trying to explain why tourism matters, why marketing matters. So a big thank you from us.
Yes.
Thank you so much.